Anna.
I'm Ben.
For AutoSave, welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Rezero, Season 3, Episode 7. Last episode, I feel like I didn't give Priscilla enough love in terms of what she did with her Yang sword, and I just want to rewatch it a little bit just to... Oh my god, okay. I feel like we don't get a ton of action sequences from Rezero, and this season alone has bred some of my favorite moments, and this has to be one of them. Just look at the camera work, and the sword appearing from within her, and her... Oh my god, it looks so good. What a great design for a sword, too. I used to have like a Master Sword and like a Keyblade, Trunks' sword on my wall.
When we first met.
Yeah, it was so cool, right?
Yeah.
This is the fourth that I'd put up there.
I could see that. I love when there's like a steam effect in terms of like visual effects, like on it almost is like edited in so that you can just feel the heat through the screen.
Yeah.
And then she's amazing. She slashes all of them.
The
we get
choreography.
This circling. The camera's like swinging around. We get the whole view of her just slashing all of these in half.
The time interpolation, right? Like how everything from the CG models, right, coming in the same type of timing, but she's going quicker. The time around them is spinning within her own time. We're not following the speed of them. We're strictly honing in on her, and we're getting to see everything that she does. The choreography is phenomenal. So good.
Once we come back around, look in the corner at Liliana's facial expression.
Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah.
You had
it
paused. Well, obviously, everyone else will see it because we're editing this, but she is cowering in the corner behind like a railing watching Priscilla do this, and it's a really great touch. It was not needed to be included.
Well, God, difficult fucking animation, trying to even capture Subaru still there, and then yeah, you get to see Liliana behind the gate. That's amazing. Oh, but yes, I love Priscilla. Last episode we also got Subaru's resolve at a speech as a knight, and that was fantastic. And we also got Al picking up a phone, so that was pretty cool.
Well, let's see what else we pick up going into this episode.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Which is called...
Okay.
Oh, so we picked it up. How I was told it would.
Passive information. Aww.
Yourself. Faith in her knight. We can sure hope. Yeah.
You're the person that you've always wanted to become, dude. It's like the ending of last episode with Subaru and seeing who he's become and seeing that Amelia is not just putting on the tough act and her priorities are just what they are, trying to get that information by. I am on the verge of crying.
It takes me back to when Echidna was kind of almost trying to say to her, are you sure that you're not just like acting like Subaru right now? But no, she knows who she truly is now, and yeah, she might be motivated and inspired by him sometimes to get to where she is, but she's her own person, and she's confident right now. We'll make sure it's safe for when he comes to save me. good. The messenger.
Oh, Garth.
Now I'm gonna cry. Look, he's even holding him up. Like, could you trust what Al says is basically what she was saying. Who would have expected her to come back, you know?
I wonder if part of the reason that she came back, other than getting more information, is to protect 184. What would have happened to 184
if she, yeah.
Oh. Liliana. You know it. Jesus.
Oh, scratching into the shelter door. The kids! What do you say? How do you instill hope? Like they'd be getting punished.
That was an interesting shot of Al. Oh. You need hope, though.
I would pick Subaru because he's taken down Slup.
That's so true. Yeah.
The person that has done it before is here.
Oh, I love Garf so much.
Yep. Amelia's probably gonna hear it.
The baseless declaration you made, the moment you shamefully cursed us knights. I want to cry so bad. Double down, Subaru. Oh.
That's the burden if you decide now.
This music's great.
Yeah.
Please let us see it. Please let us see it. Wow. Oh, coming at the same time? Holy shit.
He gets rid of everyone they know and love, their entire support system, nowhere to return to, basically.
Laying all the facts out.
してみんなに呼びかける役目も俺には2が勝ちすぎてるって思ってるよ。だけど今こうして俺が話してる。俺なんかよりよっぽどすごい人たちが俺がやるべきだって立派なことも言えないし、みんなを引っ張ってくカリスマだって俺にはない。弱くてどうしようもなくて、こんな大一番今だって逃げたくてしょうがなくて、何ができるかなんてわからなくて、耳を塞いで頭を抱えて自分がうずくまってる間に全部解決してくれればなんて他力本願を願って。
やだい。
それでも逃げられないから戦う。俺はそれだけのやつだ。もう一度聞かせてくれ。この声を聞いてる人は今どこにいる？誰かと一緒にいられてるか？一緒にいるのは大切な人か？知らない顔でもこの数時間で見知った顔になったか？勝手な話だし難しいかもしれないけど、お願いだから一人にならないでくれ。一人でいるとつまらない考えばっかり浮かんでくるんだ。経験則だ。わかるよ。だから一人にならないでくれ。誰かと一緒にいてくれ。そしてできるなら一緒にいる誰かの顔を見てくれ。今誰の顔を見た？大切な人か、それともこの数時間を一緒に過ごした知らない相手か？多分ひでえ顔してるだろ。それが許せるかよ。
やだよ。
俺は許せない。大事な仲間がいる。俺はその大切な人たちに辛い顔や悲しい顔をさせてる奴らが許せない。俺の知ってるこの子の笑顔は本当はもっと可愛いんだぜって言ってやりてえ。負けっぱなしじゃいられねえ。投げっぱなしじゃ格好がつかねえ。やられっぱなしでいいわけがねえ。あんな奴らに負けを認めるなんて俺はしたくない。だから戦う。弱いのも頭が悪いのも全部分かってるけど戦っている。あいつらが間違ってる。俺の好きな人たちに泣きそうな顔をさせるあいつらが間違ってる。だから戦う。俺は戦う。何も棒で殴りかかるって話じゃない。俺がみんなに望むことは下を向かないでほしいってことなんだ。
下を向かない。
足元じっと睨みつけてても何も変わらねえよ。だから顔を上げて前を向いてくれ。周り見渡してみたらきっと誰かと目が合う。同じ不安を抱えてる誰かだけど同じ負けたくないって気持ちを抱えた誰かでもある。弱くてどうしようもない俺がまだ諦められねえんだ。諦めの悪い弱虫が俺だけじゃないってそう信じさせてくれよ。
Then I'm not the only
そ
one.
れとも
The only
俺
way.
だけなのか？
違う。そんなことないよ。
まだやれるって、まだ戦えるってそう思ってるのは。
違う。
そうだ、違うぞ。
大丈夫。
違うよな。
違う。絶対の絶対に心の底から全然違うから。あなたの声が聞こえるから大丈夫。何にも怖くないわ。
そばにいるのが大切な人ならその手を握って信じてくれ。隣り合うのが知らない誰かなら一緒に頑張ろうってうなずきかけてくれ。自分もその人も負けも折れもしないで戦えるんだって。みんなが折れずにいてくれるなら俺も諦めないで戦う。戦って勝ってみせる。俺の名前は夏木スバル。魔女教滞在士よ、アイラを倒した精霊使いだ。
To tell them at the end. Fucking great.
だからみんな信じて戦ってくれ。そしたら後のことは全部この俺に任せておけ。
今の声は私の騎士様、すごーく頑張り屋さんなの。私逃げないわ。あなたたちを置いてどこかに行ったりしない。どうして怖い気持ちでいっぱいだったはずなのに、何も他の子たちにも幸せになってもらいたい。結婚って大切な人と一緒に幸せになるための儀式だもの。花嫁さんは幸せでなきゃダメなの。付き合ってるのに結婚できなかった人たちを私は知ってる。今はまだ二人のことを思うと胸が痛む。
Mine too.
結婚しているのに幸せになれないなんて、そんな関係私は嫌だわ。私ずっと一人じゃなかった。危ない、勘違いしちゃうところだった。どうされるつ 結婚式をしましょう。夏希くん、
Almost forgot they were there.
なんで謝るん、変な子やね。
素晴らしい演説だった。
Garf's face. That's like us. Garf is us.
いや、恐れ入ったわ。ちゃんらに幼女に知流までたぶらかした面目躍如やないか。
夏希くんは天性の先導者やね。
Agitator.
あとは原因そのものの排除やね。
What caused all of this?
そのためには制御塔の4箇所同時攻略か。
それなら鬼札が1枚加わるのはいかがですか？
You are the wild card. You are the wild card.
本当に無事だったっけよ。
それとお連れしました。
お連れした？
Who the fuck do you think?
遅れてすまない。
You're forgiven.
Felt's let you off the leash, brother.
遅ればせながら合流する。
Oh. Okay, that was Rezero, season 3, episode 7. I love this show so much, man.
We were pretty emotional during different moments. There were heights to it. It never really went away.
Man, what they're able to do in terms of writing. How are you able to write something, I'm assuming, what, a manga or a light novel or an anime? You are literally writing a script. You are literally writing a speech from a character's perspective. And as I'm sitting here listening to it, it feels like it was the first thing that the author wrote. It feels like it was feels like it was completely improv from Subaru, and it was done in the most brilliant way you could have written it, because that's the intention of what Subaru's trying to say. You said it when it happened. The decision to not bring up his accolades until the end of the speech, perfect. The idea to start where you do, in being very brutal in your honesty and your depiction of yourself and the situation in front of you, to not only humanize yourself, but to legitimize what everybody else is feeling. And what are you trying to do when you set out to save somebody? When you're trying to save people? Subaru isn't asking for people to go wave a bunch of sticks at people. He's asking them to not look down and to look up. And that's what he's doing. That's what he did. And you couldn't... Man.
He starts the speech off in a way that is, he makes himself just another cowering, scared person within the shelter beside you, the stranger beside you. He puts himself as the stranger beside you by how pessimistic, how down, and how brutal it is, the things that he's saying. He is putting himself in your shoes, likening himself to how you're feeling, understanding how you're feeling. And then he takes that a step further and he builds on it, and he begins to talk in a way that is, I am the person beside you, and the person beside you has decided that I still want to fight, even though I know I'm the person beside you, that I am scared, and maybe all I can do is throw sticks or whatever. I'm stupid. I'm not that strong.
It's, you can give a speech to disillusion people. You can give a speech to motivate people, even in a circumstance that they shouldn't feel motivated in. Just because you know that that's what it will take in order to win or to get your goal across. What Subaru is doing is throwing a bucket of water on every single person and saying, wait, look at reality. They're not right. They're wrong. They are wrong, and they are bad, and they are fucked up. This isn't right. Let's be confident in our reality, and be motivated in it. Look at each other. You're not alone in this.
And why you need to kind of throw that bucket of water, you need to dig down into the dark. Why you have to reach your hand down into the dark is so that the hope is not it doesn't waver. It is not fickle. Anastasia says that she would just be giving lip service. Yeah, she has a name that is recognizable to all of them. Yes, it probably could have instilled hope to some degree across the masses, but what that hope would have been is fickle, because as soon as they hear or feel differently, it is going to waver. It is not going to be unwavering what she is able to instill for them, the lip service.
You know what's great too? What Anastasia would have made them feel is what Subaru made them feel by saying one word. The first thing that they felt were like, oh my god, are we saved? And they felt optimistic and hopeful. And then Subaru had to break it down.
He showed them how easy it was that one thing, all they needed to hear was, he's not with the witches cult, to be like, oh my god, they took back the broadcasting media, he's not with the witches cult, hope. But what he proved to us is just how wavering and fickle it is. And so what he did is he made it so it wouldn't be that now it's going to be really hard to shake these people, even with the authority of...
It's, oh my god, I love the show, because it's like thematically it goes back to season 1. It goes back to every speech that we've gotten, because it's where Rezero shines the most. But it's about foundations. It's about real foundations. What they had, that optimism, they went from despair to almost a disillusioned hope and optimism that they were saved and everything was fine. But how easily that was blown over and knocked down. What Subaru is bringing up by saying, make me believe that I'm not the only wimp who doesn't know when to give up, is step by step you are rooting and grounding everybody in reality and building their hope in something real, that if somebody does try to push you over, your foundation is strong enough to be able to fight back and say, no, I'm not in the wrong. I'm in the right. This is why. Yeah. I'm looking at somebody across from me and seeing how they're feeling and able to say, no, that's not okay. We're going to look up. Looking down won't do anything.
Right. As you had started kind of the topic of the speech off with just the writing of it, I think that I'd want to go into that a little more. It's so, I think you would use the word improvised. It's so naturally improvised.
Yeah.
The writing of it, it's in itself, like speech writing is an art. Like words alone, like having to write as the person that wrote this, you're having to write a speech that doesn't sound rehearsed, that sounds natural, that sounds like a human touch to it, you know, but still sway emotions of a viewer technically, because you're making this as a piece of media to be read or seen or heard by someone else. So we want the characters in universe to be swayed by Subaru here, but we also want the viewer to feel that it's working. And so I feel like that's an art to be able to write a lot of the speeches. As you have even said, Subaru has had a lot of moments where speeches and big chunks of dialogue are said that feel natural to the character and have such a human touch to them, but still hold so much power and emotion and can affect the viewer. And the person that wrote this is really good at that, and that's probably why it's probably why it's used as such like a perfect flourish in special moments in the show. Is like, look, I'm gonna have Subaru say this thing and you're all gonna feel it. But I feel like the compliment can't just exist for the person that wrote the speech. In the anime, the speech needs to be said
oh my god, you're
by
so
a
right.
voice actor. If it was said by just anyone, yeah, the words might sound good, but that doesn't mean, like, if you're hearing someone say a speech, the person that's saying the speech and not just the words that they're saying are equally as important, you know? And the voice acting for Subaru has always been really good. But I feel like the compliment needs to be shared here, that because it's an anime and because we're hearing it and not just reading it, the job and the burden, if you will, for the speech to be heard and felt truly was also on the voice actor.
No, you're 100% right. I think that that's one thing that we don't even bring up enough, even within this season, right? When I think of voice acting in this show, it is one of the best parts of the show. It is, in terms of quality, it is one of the best voice acted series that I've ever had the pleasure of watching, specifically from the antagonists. Like,
I know,
holy
dude.
shit, the Sins are breathtaking, and they're and amazing. Like, but Subaru is able to just bring something with this speech that it really does. It's almost like you wrote it the first time and didn't touch it and you were like, this is perfect, or you performed it for the first time and you just were like, nope, that was it. And I know that's delusional on my end. I know that most likely didn't happen, but to be able to perform it in such a way that that's the energy that you give is amazing. I when I think about ReZero, one of the first things that I think about is Rem and the speech to Subaru in that episode between them. And that is one of my favorite moments of writing in this entire series. And this is right up in my favorite moments as well. I don't this is when this series shines the brightest for me. And it's not just because I'm like, oh, good job, good writing, I appreciate that. It's what it makes me feel. And that's the intention of the narrative in the story too. Like, it breaks so many barriers down. I don't know what to say other than to just gush about it.
Gush about that. I mean, like, if you think about theater, like, the scariest thing to get, but also the most prized role to get, is a role that has a monologue, you know?
Yeah.
The monologue, they're terrifying because you have to remember a lot of lines, but they're also terrifying because you have to go through dips in your acting of going from possibly one emotion to another. Like, Subaru had to be able to have his voice climb the mountain in the way that it has to build the foundation and the spirits up of the people. His voice needed to be able to portray with the words that we're digging down into the darkness, into the sad feelings, and then build back up, all in one fell swoop. And if you're an actor on stage, not only are you like having to memorize exactly the words that you're saying, but you also then have to feel what each of those sentences alone, the sentiment that each of them holds, where you're going to take your pauses. And the voice actor needed to figure out each of those lines, not only how to say each of those lines as an individual, but how do each of those lines being said relate to the next line that you're then gonna say, and the content of that next line that you're gonna say.
It's funny, I think we were on the same like wavelength when you were talking about voice acting, because I was trying to bring up IMDb like while you were doing that to see Yusuke Kobayashi, I believe, and like I was doing that a couple minutes ago, and just to bring it back, like, Jesus Christ, it was good.
So yeah.
Okay. Did I feel stupid, but I'm so happy. ReZero pump faked me, being like, psh, look, media, last episode, we got to see this performance and how it completely like took away the authority of wrath from Liliana's end. I'm like, okay, that's what's gonna happen here. We need Liliana to sing to the entire place. That's what we need. Just for them to pivot and do this. And god damn it.
Well, why it couldn't, I feel like the next topic then that goes perfectly with what you said is why it could not have been Liliana. It could not have been Liliana. I think Al is the one that brings up the idea of like, this is the person that will hold the weight of every single person in the city's hope. If you are the one that is going to tell them to not give up, then you have heroic delusions, and
heroic delusions.
that you will be holding the weight. This is the line. Your losses won't be your own anymore. And after that line, Subaru then starts to reflect on his past, and he realizes that's nothing new for him.
Your losses won't just be your own anymore. And
right, so the weight, like Liliana, the songstress, she couldn't have been given the weight that would hold standing in front of that mic. Yeah, she could have. Also, think about it. We talked about why Anastasia wouldn't have maybe been the right one, is because it would have done the trick for a couple minutes until something else then happened that would shake it. a pretty song is probably gonna do the same thing. It might break you out of the authority and the trance right then, and you might be feeling some happy feelings, but it's not digging deep in you.
Yeah. I also really appreciated them weaving in Amelia and 184 to it. I absolutely adored it. What was 184's line about how they were feeling and them not wanting to do that anymore? They were like, if it came across as like her feeling optimistic or hope, and she was like, I made that mistake. You're free to insist that you won't give up, but I will not be tempted again. That's what I was looking for, and
Right.
I love that. Oh my god.
But also, like, she has a twisted view of what not giving up would be. She'd be not giving up on Amelia, but for herself, it would be like she sees a possible way out. Like, she knows what would have happened to her if Amelia got away, but she was willing to do it as her, like, she used the word that was like her for her last moments. She had this idea of what her last moments would be, and she could have been happy with that, you know, that she helped Amelia escape, basically. By
Man.
not saying anything and not alerting Regulus.
I love how every single character was utilized. Every single one that was given a voice in this episode, and the ones that weren't, we filtered through Priscilla. We got to see everybody, right? Even Krush and her reaction to Subaru. But what was said before the speech happened was almost as strong. I loved what Al brought to it, and Subaru needed to realize what an impossible task it was before he was able to perform that impossible task. And that's exactly what Al did for him as well. I love that Al brought up, in terms of the witch's cult, that it was like, why would a dragon concern itself with ants under it in terms of its plot? And then Julie brought up every time that Subaru and him had interacted before, when he had got up and made a speech embarrassingly so the first time, or fought against Julie. And then Julie was like, I'm not going to laugh. I'm just going to listen to and be attentive to every single word that you said.
Yeah.
It's great.
Al, I think, obviously, we talked a bit about him from last episode because of the ending with him being the one on the other side of the Meteor with Amelia. But I feel like this episode, what I'd want to talk about is how they use him in comparison to Garf, I would say, in this episode is just a good example. The people that Subaru gathers with him, if you will. Like, Al is a character unlike Garf in terms of, like, where his priorities lie, his, you know, he doesn't lay down his sword and work as a knight for Subaru and Amelia. You know, Garf is, this is my boss. Subaru is my boss. I am in this camp. So they differ there. But Al, when we get the idea of, like, all of these people gather here because of Subaru, we get so many, I can't even say we get so many moments of facial expressions from him because his face is covered, but he's given attention and time to little movements of his helmet, where you can almost imagine, what is the face he is making under there? It must be something, because why else are we getting spotlights on his expressions here? He's a character that is supposed to be a little more selfish in his actions here, because he's doing things for his princess, for his candidate, for Priscilla. But yet he still came here to relay the messages for Amelia. And he's still here to give his words and maybe even encouragement to some degree and listen to Subaru's speech.
So Al has always come across as somebody that, in terms of maturity and confidence, for some reason, I always put him like super high up. And in terms of awareness of the situation, right? If he's saying that he's doing this all for his princess, I don't take it as like how somebody would just be like, okay, yep, knight, princess, of course I'm going to do everything for her. He comes across as somebody who's really thought through things, and how he interacted even with Amelia this episode, and how Amelia's acting. He's bringing up the idea, like, aren't you not concerned enough about your own safety, little lady? But I think what he gets from Amelia too, and what her demands are, and to communicate that to Subaru, I think he's kind of, I might be reading too much into him, but like, oh shit, you know what? These people have really thought about things, and their priorities probably lay in a pretty good place, and they are pretty confident about what they're doing. Like, he gives them respect.
I think that the idea that he's giving them respect, but he has been surprised mainly not mainly, but he's been surprised multiple times in these conversations in this episode with Amelia and then with Subaru, that maybe pleasantly surprised, I could even add a word before surprised, to the resolve and the thought that has already been put into the actions they're putting forward. And if you're a person like Al, who's a knight and wanting to protect and do things for his princess, the company you keep around you and the side quests you might go on, you would want them to be with people who maybe have thought about things as much as you have. And it might then give you hope as Al that maybe going on this little side quest that maybe isn't exactly what he's supposed to be doing, or doing anything that helps Subaru and Amelia, is worth it because they've thought about it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a waste of his time necessarily.
God, okay, I wanted to read off one of my favorite lines in what we're talking about. I want to do everything I can to make sure that he won't be in danger when he comes to save me, from Amelia to Al. Like, it makes me
And that
wanna
gets
cry.
a reaction from him.
I'll apologize to Priscilla and myself later for being so selfish. Great. And then before we get the intro, I love this from Amelia. After she hangs up, she's like, now he'll let Subaru and everyone else know. And then she kind of makes it like a surprised expression. Wait, why do I feel so confident about this? Like, last season was amazing and incredible. Last season, if you went from season 1 to season 3 of Rezero, you'd be like, who the fuck am I watching right now? These characters don't make any sense. I am
I'd agree
so
with that.
blessed with what
Their dynamic relationship with each other wouldn't make any, even though we barely, season 3 starts, we don't really get anything of them together.
Yeah.
Wait, especially when you think about how we end season 2 off, you know, like, no, Amelia, you're not pregnant. That's not how it works.
And that strong, that real tangible foundation I was talking about in Subaru's speech is how this story treats all of its characters and their relationships with each other. You, like what you just brought up, like the lack of seeing any strength, durability testing or strength building in terms of Amelia and Subaru's relationship in this season. Why the fuck would you need it? Like, because it's already there, and it's because it's been built brick by brick and emotion by emotion that we've all been through and watched. It makes it so rewarding.
A season 1 viewer would be like, wait, Subaru, in this episode, Al is like, how about you just go save Amelia? She's a princess being held hostage in a tower, basically. Season 1 Subaru, we would have been like, yeah, the viewer is going to be like, yeah, that's where he's probably going to go, you know? We'd think that possibly. Amazing.
What a great episode.
I want more of Al. I want a face reveal, possibly. Do I want one? Part of me really does.
No, never. I don't want it, ever. I think that it's the same thing YouTubers who don't have a face. It's the mistake that they all make. Never do a face reveal. Not because of the fucked up reception and expectations that people have of what the face is. I don't give a shit. That's its own point. I just think there's more of an air and mystique around people who are faceless that why break it? Like it's just added benefit. Like it's so cool. So cool.
Yeah, you have this energy and aura of mystery. Why do you not want that anymore?
I have a VTuber model. I will never say what the name of this VTuber model is, but if one day it's revealed that I don't know where I'm going with this. Just know that exists. I'm never going to connect it to anything with AutoSave, but that exists, and I would never say that it's me. You know?
Yeah,
in that same air.
You wouldn't take the helmet off.
I would never take the helmet off. Don't take the helmet off, Al. Don't let them pressure you.
Do you have anything else of like where you want to go?
I love this show. That's it.
Oh, other than that? Okay, I have a few more things.
Go off.
I don't know if you noticed, but I think a certain someone has untied himself. Heinkel. Reinhardt's dad.
Oh, fuck.
It was very quick.
Oh, was it in like the filter and going through everybody
quick.
with like felt and everybody?
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good. Especially, and I think I definitely need to note that because who enters stage left, you know?
Yeah.
Is Reinhardt comes back in to the scenario, to the story, and we get Subaru. Very happy to see him, as I would be happy to see Reinhardt also. But yeah, Heinkel is untied. So there's that. Reinhardt's entering back in the story, and Dad is on the loose.
Yeah.
Not great. Not amazing. Don't know how that's going to be handled. But I feel good about Al and I feel good about Priscilla. And Heinkel's technically in Priscilla's camp, and so I would hope that if he gets out of line,
Yeah,
Priscilla
here it
will
is.
just
It
whack
looks
him
like
with the
he used the
sword.
bottle to break it over his head.
Yeah.
Damn it. I fucking hate him so much, man. Good catch. I was too caught up in like my
It was so
emotional
quick.
wreck. God.
So that was one thing that I wanted to make sure that we realized and talked about.
Good point. Good observation.
And then just a last thing I wanted to say about the wives was, this isn't my last thing, but it's the last thing I wanted to say about the wives, which is that we learn in this episode that they have been put into situations where it didn't matter to him if they had status. He would go into a random little village and just find the prettiest girl there and kill and wipe out the entire village.
And anybody who knows their face.
He completely isolates the girls so that they become nameless.
He
then gives them a number name.
What a perfect character. Regulus is amazing. I love him so much. I obviously, as a character, right? We've gotten past that. I don't need to reiterate it again, but he's a perfect blend of a serial killer, as I quoted last episode, and a cult leader. What's one of the first things you need to learn if you want to run a successful cult? You need to be able to convince your members to remove themselves as far away from any of their loved ones as possible. And Regulus is doing it better than anyone.
He's making sure it happens.
There's no phone call that you're gonna get. There's nobody to call.
Yeah. Great. And there's nowhere to go if you inevitably did get out. So yeah, to think of then about the future, because that leads me into one of my next things that I wanted to say is the future for these wives. To them, how much is there to be really hopeful about when you have nothing to return to and basically no name? You have no life, no family, no name other than this husband because he's made sure of that.
How many wives do we have?
Currently 53 of them are alive.
How many do you think Roswaal could take in 53 servants and maids?
Totally, yeah.
That's my goal.
I think they should open businesses together.
Ooh.
Like cafes and become lawyers. I think that all of them should become entrepreneurs and they have enough people to be employees and they could just have startups all over the country.
That's a pretty good idea. I like it.
That's what I think that they should do. But that leads me into kind of the air that we end the episode off with it, which is we are now all looking forward, and looking forward is toward the actual cause. We are now focusing our attention on all of the Sin archbishops that are in this city running amok, and we are going to deal with them. And with that, all of our characters looking forward in that way. There is one character who is also looking forward, but not necessarily toward the Sin archbishops in the way of defeating them. Her plan, Amelia, of what she can do is
let's get married.
Go on with the wedding.
I love it. See, okay. My last thing then. We brought it up last episode and we didn't know how we feel. I'm completely on the opposite end of things now. If Amelia's going forward with the wedding, we are definitely getting Typhon's body and we are definitely getting the book. I just don't know how yet. They need to happen if Amelia's being wed.
We had a moment right before she gives the resolve to going through with the wedding where we're bringing up the idea of are you all alone? And 184 is you're alone, and she makes a face and then she says, oh, I almost made a mistake there. I'm not all alone.
Yeah.
I love that check-in she had with herself.
Man,
She's keeping herself, in the right frame of mind, and I appreciate that. And her goal is to get all the wives out of here, and I support it.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. I love this show so much, man.